Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Bradley. My name is Mrs. Taylor. I am Jean's special education teacher here at White Horse Elementary School. And today we are here to go over the results of Jean's evaluation report. Our school psychologist, our occupational therapist, and our speech language therapist um, did several evaluations with Jean's and assessment. So we're going to go over those results today, and you guys should have received those results at least 2 days prior to the meeting. If you did not, or if you have any questions, please stop me and let me know. I want to make sure you guys are understanding everything that we are too. So the first assessment that I want to go over is the Universal Nonverbal Intelligence Test. In all of these evaluations, Jean scored in either the delayed or very delayed range. Um, And this assessment just kind of gives us a basis of a full scale IQ for Jean and how kind of like her brain works and where she's at compared to other kids her age. Um, Next up is the Woodcock-Johnson Test of Achievement 3. In this test, she was only given three of the subtest versus having to take the entire test. And this test kind of goes along with the same thing. This looks at her academic side of it. So her reading, her math, her writing, that side, and where she is cognitively there. Again, Jean scored in the low to very low range. She was low in reading and very low in math and writing. Um, the next assessment I want to go over is the Adaptive Behavior Assessment System 2 Teacher. So this is a rating scale. Um, our school psychologist would have given this to the teacher, or yeah, our school psychologist would have given this to the teacher, and they would have put either always, never, sometimes, rarely, just for adaptive behaviors within the school. So adaptive behaviors could be, can she navigate her way to the cafeteria, or how does she communicate? Those kind of adaptive behaviors. So the five areas that we looked at for Jean are communication, school living, health and safety, leisure, and self-care. For communication and school living, she scored in the extremely low range. And then for health and safety, leisure, and self-care, she was borderline. So she was still kind of in that low range, but not in the very low range quite yet. The next test or assessment that she completed was the wide range assessment of visual motor abilities. So this is a test or an assessment that shows us what a student's visual motor skills are and how they use them. So there's things like matching pictures. There's a pegboard where she has to like recreate what's on the pegboard with her own pegboard. Um, and then there's also a excuse me. There's also a drawing shapes section. And in this one, the average or the mean of a score is 100. And so the standard deviation or kind of what is considered average is either 15 above or below 100. So it goes from 85 to 115 would be average. Um, for drawing shapes, Jean scored a 62. Matching objects, she scored a 55, and then the pegboard, she scored a 57. So all these would be at least three standard deviations below, so she would be in the very low range. And then the final assessment that she completed was with our speech language pathologist. It was the comprehensive assessment of spoken language. And again, these are all based on standard deviations and averages. So for lexical, she scored a 61, syntax, she scored a 63, receptive, a 62, expressive, 64, and then the total core was a 63. And all these scores show us is we know Gina's already nonverbal or pretty much nonverbal. Um, so this is just going to help us look more at getting a communication device for her. How can we help her express her language more without having to verbally express it. All right. Next, I want to go over the goals that we have created for Jean. Please, again, stop me if you have any questions. Um, so the first goal I came up with is for her functional academics. Um, we know Jean struggles with um, answering simple questions, just kind of about her day and what goes on. So to help her with that, I added a goal about answering WH questions, so who, what, when, where questions. And to tie it into the academic portion of it, we're going to add it to text. So Jean will answer WH questions, who, what, when, where, um, about a text. Examples, what is the character? What are they doing? Using an AAC device, visuals, answer choices, given visuals and fading prompts in 4 out of 5 opportunities by May 2026. Again, this is so we can get Jean to not only get used to picking answer choices, but also telling us about a text. She might not verbally be able to do that, but allowing her to have those visuals, those AAC devices, those answer choices, that's going to allow us to show her how she can answer these questions. Um, and then we can move that into the lifestyle side of it, where we can teach her how to answer questions when somebody's asking about her day. The two ways that we'd come up with for progress monitoring for this is exit tickets. This is a really simple one. So after a lesson or after an activity that we've done, she'll answer 1 to 2 questions about the text or whatever activity we completed. Um, Again, she can either verbally say that if she's able to say anything, or we have visuals she can use. She can point, she can use the AAC device, anything like that. There are endless numbers of ways that we can pull together to make Jean be able to answer how she needs to. And then the second progress monitoring tool that we're going to use are curriculum-based measurement assessments. So essentially, this would be a short little reading passage, and this would either be read aloud to her or she can read it to herself, depending on the reading level. And then she would answer a series of questions about the text. So again, what was the character doing? Who was doing this? Where were they at? When was it happening? Was it happening in the morning or afternoon? Questions like that. And this assessment would be given roughly every 2 weeks just to show her growth and progress on being able to answer WH questions. I hope that makes sense. And then lastly, the daily living goal. We know Jean has struggled with just showing emotions and just kind of being very straight-faced a lot of the time. So we want to try to help her with that. So for her daily living goal, we have Jean will identify up to 5 emotions, examples, happy, sad, angry, given visuals, pictures, videos, facial expressions, um, in 4 out of 5 opportunities or with 80% accuracy by May of next year. Um, this I have found works really well for students that struggle with that social emotional side of having a disability. Um, Being able to show how they feel when they can't verbally say it um, gives that communication piece that they need. The first progress monitoring tool that I want to use for this is during our morning meeting. We will have a slide up for her and every student in the room. This is not just her. Um, that they will go up and they will point to whatever emotion they are feeling that morning. It'll have a happy face, a sad face, kind of like a frustrated face, an upset face, a scared face. They'll have different options to choose from. And when they go up to pick that choice, we kind of over exaggerate what that emotion looks like to teach what that emotion is. Um, so we'll do that every morning, and that way she kind of gets in the routine of, hey, I'm happy this morning, I'm super excited, or hey, I'm not feeling so great this morning. All right, the second progress monitoring tool we're going to use for this one is presenting a card to Jean. So the card will have an emotion on it either a image face or an actual person's face, like a picture, and she will either have to match the emotion to the word that it is, or just um, match them to each other. Sorry. This would be like I have a picture of a happy face and I have to match it to the picture of the picture happy face, kind of like a clip art picture and then a live picture, if that makes sense. Um, so this would again allow her to kind of practice those emotions and being able to identify them in other people as well. Like if she sees another student crying, she'll be able to identify that, hey, this student's upset, they're sad. And then the last um, progress monitoring tool that we want to use is kind of a zone of regulation. So when Jean gets really upset, we want to give her that opportunity to tell us she's upset. We'll pull out the communication device, we'll pull out visuals, whatever we know Jean needs or how she communicates best in that moment, we'll use. And then if she says happy, but she's really crying and upset, then we'll model, hey, you're upset. This happy would be like all giddy and be all smiley faces. We cry when we're upset or when we're hurt. So just explaining that and doing a lot of visual and hands-on modeling to show her what these emotions actually look like. All right. Please let me know if you guys have any questions. I appreciate you guys coming today, and thank you. Bye.